Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sonic Chronicle. My name is Owen, I'm your host, as we run down through this week's release radar and we take a listen to the songs, give them a little review, and then review the release radar that Spotify has pushed for me this week overall. Now, this week's release radar review has not been recorded on a Friday. It's a little bit later in terms of its recording, but it should go out relatively around the same time that these things normally go out. The reason being that I have been flat out editing those artist interviews that I've conducted so that they will be ready to go later on this month. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you will get all of the notifications when those videos go live, because I don't think you're going to want to miss those based on the editing that I've done. That said, we're going to crack on ahead here. What's interesting here is that straight out of the gates we have Green Day, Matisyahu, Ryan Adams pushed to us here. A couple of artists that are definitely not, what I like to listen to when I listen to release radar. I'm well aware of these three artists, and Green Day, Matisyahu, and Ryan Adams, all artists I enjoy. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to skip on ahead and we're going to listen to Astronaut by Mulch. A bit of chorus straight away. Chorus is underused, man. Bring chorus back. Ooh. Nice. I like that it went up there. I like that it's doing its own thing compared to the guitar as well. And it's not just doing the easy thing and just following the guitar. Ooh, shaking it up. Ooh, now the bass is really cooking. Yeah. I like this vocal as well. It doesn't sound like it's the most refined production, but I do like this. I do like this a lot. Let's take a quick look at Mulch, see what they're about. Good number, listeners. Sounds from Pieces of Wood, Normal, Illinois. I'd like to know a little bit more about them. Artists, put a little bit more of information about yourself in here. Oh, bringing in that distortion now. That's good. I think guitar is too high in the mix at this point. I want this vocal to be up a little bit more. I want to be able to hear that difference that little bit more. Yeah, that second vocal, I'd like it to be up a little bit more. It'll push up the vocal a little bit in the mix in terms of decibels. But you can compensate. Because I think it's just buried. I don't think it does enough just how low in the mix it is. That was sick from the bass. I would have preferred it if... Was that Phaser? I think that is Phaser. Someone got an RP80 for Christmas. But I would prefer it if they had gone back to that middle section with just the clean-toned guitar. And then maybe brought that second guitar in over the top. Again, lower in the mix maybe, because it's overpowering, I think. Are they going for a little bit of like an Incubus sound? Because I'm getting some Incubus vibes here. Yeah, this is kind of what I was looking for maybe in the middle section. But hey, they brought it in at some point. The thing about distorted guitars is that they don't always have to be front and central or center, because you can have distorted guitar in there, lower the volume of it, drop it down that little bit further in your mix, and let it be, I suppose, a nice fuzzy counterpoint in the background to your clean guitar. And it'll work quite nicely. I like that. That's a good song. I'm not going to give it the Sonic Chronicle seal of approval because, as I said, I'm going to be a little bit more spared. I'm not going to hand them out willy-nilly. Because I think the production maybe lets that down a little bit there. But I do really like that song. And I think that if it just needs a little bit, a couple of tweaks. It doesn't hurt the overall song massively, but it does need some tweaks, I think, in terms of its production. But once it makes those tweaks, I think it'll be right there. I think it'll be a wonderful song. We're going to skip ahead. We're going to listen to Small Talk by Nick Parker. Little bit of country. So what's the name of this album? Out Any Rain and the Distal Parts. 4,200 listeners. Great job. Nothing about him. I quite like the song. But this vocal doesn't work for me. I think it's a fun song, but something about his vocal being very clean. It doesn't work for me, to be honest with you. That it's purely a personal thing. It's nothing against him. He's technically fine. It's purely a personal preference. It's funny. That's a funny lyric. Yeah, that's fine. That's a pretty quiet song. You know, by quiet I mean like uneventful, I suppose. You know, it doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really do too much. It is what it is. It knows exactly what it is, and that's fine. It can do exactly what it wants to do. I'm not going to complain too much about it, but equally I'm not going to like really big it up either. It's not for me. As I said, the vocals are purely a personal preference that I don't really enjoy that kind of thing. Nick Parker, I'd be interested to listen to some more of your stuff, but the vocals on that song don't really do too much for me. It's too clean. Too clean, I think, is what it is. I like the look of this art, so we're going to listen to Something Better by Crim. Mm. I like the acoustic guitar here. This kind of reminds me of like Death Cab for Cutie, to be honest with you. I love the way this builds. This is good. Tell me more about Crim. I love this t-shirt. This is so 2000s. And yet, they have never released anything from the 2000s. They're a Swedish rock band. Formed in 1996. Okay. Recorded songs will now be released as singles one by one every first Monday of the month. Oh my god, that's so incredibly ambitious. But where's the rest of their music that they formed in 1996? I want more of this. I want more Crim. I like this. It's very, as I say, very noughties. A bit emo, a bit Creed, a bit Nickelback. There's something comforting about that. It is also really well produced. I love the way the strings swell when they need to. This keeps attention as well. And the vocal is good. The vocal is strong. There's nothing wrong with anything here. Finishes off with strings. Excellent. That's a really good song. That's really well put together. Really well produced. Crim, I salute you. To be honest with you, though, it's probably more one for me rather than for everyone. So it's not going to get the Sonic Chronicle seal of approval, even though it's one for me rather than anyone else. I think I like it a lot. But I'll keep an ear out for Crim. All right, what's 031 by Philip Taylor? Another acoustic guitar intro. We've had a few of these today. It's a little bit country as well. Okay. 3463. This isn't country. Nothing about him, just a picture of him being a bit goofy. That's fine. It's so middle of the road. Yeah, this is a little bit lame, to be honest with you. Oh, Australian. Okay. I don't like that. I don't like adding in your sat-nav voice. You know what this is like? This is like Jimmy Buffett. Like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. You know, that's what that is. Heavy fuzz on that. Way too much, I'd say. You lose an awful lot of clarity when you put that much fuzz. And yes, that can be a stylistic choice. Doesn't mean it's a good one. Alright. It's fine. It doesn't do anything. It goes nowhere interesting or different. It just goes, and it is a thing. It's very middle of the road. It's not going to excite you like to hear it. It might get radio play and you might like nod your head, but you won't remember that song. Let's move ahead. Let's listen to I Can't Think by Jason Moss from the album Burn Baby Burn. I'm getting a lot of acoustics today. Alright, Jason, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Born in a little town called Englewood, New Jersey. Moved to live in Caracas. Then returned to New Jersey, New York. Went to LA. Signed with music house Machine Head. 2008 joined Supersonic Noise. 2015 to present, owner of... This is like his CV. Does advertising and television. I truly feel like I have... This is something that you're going to learn about me as well. Is that I'm not big on whistle middles. I think that they're lazy, to be quite honest with you. Just play an instrument in there, that section. Like, just play a lead line that is the same thing. Maybe a hot take, but it's my own. His vocal is quite soothing, though. It's quite nice. And this has a real kind of like rustic, rugged kind of feel to it as well, in terms of the instrumentation. And maybe a little bit inelegant, but that's by design. So while this guy, Philip Taylor, had a stylistic choice in terms of his solo to make it super fuzzy and unclear, this stylistic choice, I think, seems to work with his voice. I think this outro is overly long, because there's another 30-40 seconds or so. Yeah, this is way too samey for this long of an intro. Or outro, even. Yeah, I like a lot of the production. I like a lot of the instrumentation. His vocal is very pleasant. But yeah, I don't... That whistling solo doesn't sit well with me. It kind of just plods along. It kind of just stays in its lane. It doesn't do anything too exciting, and I think that outro is probably too long. Not unpleasant, but nothing invigorating about that song. All right, Declan McKenna, what you got for me? Oh. 5.5 million monthly listeners, holy mollies. Third studio album. I've never heard of this guy in my life. Big baggy pants though. Following an early evening slot on the main stage of the Reading and Leeds Festival behind Billie Eilish, Declan McKenna is ready for the next step. Interesting. Is he trying to do a Tom York thing with his vocal? Or maybe is he trying to do a John Lennon thing? I mean, it doesn't say here where he's from. I was just wondering, is he from Liverpool and is he heavily influenced by the Beatles? Because he does have some real turns of phrase or some kind of intonation that really sounds a bit Lennon-esque. Future me, you know what to do. So we're 2.5 minutes in before another instrument is brought into the mix. And this is a synth. Sorry, that's not true. There's also a bass. If it was an organ, that would probably be better than the synth. So more than halfway through the song, they bring in 2 more instruments. And then they drop the bass out. It's an interesting one, right? It's very minimal, which is fine. You know, it's got its own place. I enjoy minimalistic music, but I don't know. It doesn't really work for me. Again, not particularly exciting. Maybe not supposed to be exciting, but it doesn't even evoke feeling in me. You know, it just drags on as well, I think. I think if this was maybe like a 3-minute long song that brought in that instrumentation that little bit earlier, I think it would probably serve the song that bit better. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It needs to be shorter and it needs to bring some more interesting parts in that little bit earlier. And I would like his vocal to be, I suppose, maybe a bit more emotive, maybe to kind of go places with the vocal line. I take it he's going for something maybe a little bit more delicate, a little bit more vulnerable, perhaps. But it just doesn't work for me. Let's see what Brett Copeland has to say. Okay, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Brett Copeland, look at that guy. 2,000 monthly listeners. LA-based world-class singer, songwriter and entertainer. Shared the stage and collaborated with numerous musical icons, including Guns N' Roses, INXS, Chris Cornell, The Cult. Okay. Worked with various Grammy-winning super producers. Just looking at these numbers over here. Does that add up? It's cool. But is it of a different time? Is it a little bit dated in terms of its sound? Possibly. It does feel pretty good though. I feel like this would be an unbelievably good live song. This would have such huge energy, maybe some pyrotechnics going off. It feels like it sounds like something else though. Yeah, it feels like it's another song. This is really nice though. The way the electric and acoustic guitars are working together, this feels really good. Oh yeah. That's cool. Acoustic guitar solo. It's also good that this is quite a short song as well. I would like maybe to this have gone to like a halftime. Boom. Tsh, wow. La, psh, pa. Something along those lines to kind of finish it out. But yeah, that's a fun rock song. As I say, maybe it's of a different era, of a different time. It's maybe not for me. But yeah, I do think it would be great fun live. Okay, so that is our release radar done. We've skipped over quite a few songs on here. So as usual, if you do see anyone on here in this track listing that you think I really should have given a shout to, feel free to let me know in the comments section. But overall, I was really impressed with Astronaut by Mulch. I thought that was really good. The production let it down a little bit, I think. Nick Parker's Small Talk was pleasant. I quite liked it. The only thing that I didn't like about it was maybe the vocal style, but again, purely a personal preference. Something Better by Crim, loved it. 031 by Philip Taylor is quite bland, pretty middle of the road. Jimmy Buffett stuff. I Can't Think by Jason Moss. I don't think it was very good. I don't remember it. Oh yes, it was the rustic sounding production. Yeah, yeah, it was all right. It was fine. I wouldn't be listening to it again, I don't think. Flipping Through My Fingers, similarly, I don't think that I would be listening to that again. And White Light by Brett Copeland, I might give it another listen. But again, I think his strength probably comes with performance based on this. I think he's probably more of a showman. Anyway, if there's anything here on this release radar that you think I should have given another punt to, as I said, feel free to leave me a comment in the comments section. If you are not already subscribed, which most of you are not, please do subscribe to the channel. It helps out greatly, but what helps out the most is leaving likes and comments on the video as well, because that really helps to drive the old algorithmic engine. So if you could do that for me, that would be really great. That said, thank you so much for watching as well, and for making it all the way to the end. I have been Owen, this is the Sonic Chronicle, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.